Thank you for your time today. Today I'm going to talk about our report on securing the AI agent ecosystem. So I work at Palo Alto Networks, and in collaboration with Sela Nevo at Rand and Mark Greaves at Smith Sciences, earlier this year we held a collaborative workshop on what it looks like to secure the AI agent ecosystem. The spoiler alert, there's no quick fix. But what I want you to take away from this is the distillation of this two-day workshop that we held that we're specifically looking to answer what are the distinct questions about securing AI agents different from other types of systems, and what are the gaps and blockers that exist us from producing those systems. So for this workshop, we held about 30 people internationally from different communities in academia, industry, and government as well, with a broad, diverse set of backgrounds from AI and cybersecurity and subdisciplines beneath each, in order to try and figure out what are the gaps that we're missing and what can we do to make a framework so that we can think about securing the whole ecosystem. Because in security, the weakest link of your system is where the whole system will have its strength. And so we want to make sure that every part of the ecosystem is secure so that the AI agent ecosystem is also secure. The things that I hope you will be able to take away from this are the framework itself for how to think about securing the AI agent ecosystem, in part because this space is moving so fast that any specific technical recommendation I make will be obsolete in about a week or two. And so I think it's important to focus on how do we think about the whole system and where do we need to put security in there and what are the technical solutions that fit that, given the new space that we're in now. And the second piece of this is that this workshop can be rerun by anyone at any point to kind of reassess what is the progress we've made towards these goals. And hopefully, through this, we can collectively converge to a comprehensive set of secure AI agent technologies. So to set this up, we had three pillars where we tried to frame what to think about in terms of the whole ecosystem. And so we started with securing the agents themselves from external compromise, which is where a lot of people start to think in terms of prompt injections and ensuring that as we operate our agent, people aren't putting different malicious prompts into those agents and diverting them to other goals. But the other thing that we wanted to highlight was that securing the assets and goals entrusted to those agents have some unique properties different from securing the agents from that external compromise. And so we want to think about both of those. And the third, which is least looked at, in my personal opinion, is how do we ensure that if there are malicious actors who are intentionally building malicious agents to perform cybersecurity offensive actions, how do we ensure that our whole ecosystem, AI agents or not, are secure against attackers who have those capabilities? So as we thought about these three pillars, we basically set out security goals that we felt if we could achieve this goal, this pillar will be secure. And so through that, we said that when we think about securing agents from external compromise, that we need to take a proactive security-first design. So as we think about building the agent, we think about its architecture and taxonomy. We first want to think, how can we build that in first and learn our lessons from building the internet back in the day so that we have the right protocols and the right architectures to ensure that we can easily put in the things that we know, at least right now, how to do that. The other piece is we know that these agents will be interacting with other agents. Some of them will be known trusted agents. Some of them will be untrusted agents because it's going to be a large ecosystem. And they will also be interacting with the environment. And so we want to ensure that all of those interactions, no matter what that interaction is, will be secure. And then the other piece is we know that at some point these agents will be compromised. And how can we ensure that we have robust recovery after a corruption or compromise? So when we think about the assets and goals entrusted to an agent, the security goals that we came up with to try and frame, if we find security solutions to these technical needs, then the assets and goals should hopefully be trusted. And so first is, how do we even recognize if an agent is trustworthy? So in some sense, we've tried to break down into a design perspective of what is the goal of a technology that we will build in order to produce these secure agent pieces. And so that was the first piece that we felt was important. And then second is containment and control. Right now, there aren't a lot of methods able to, if there is an agent that is misbehaving, that is in the wild, it is up to the owner of that agent to take it down. But how do the agents interacting with that ensure that they are not harmed by those agents? So we want to understand what are the dynamics that we can put into the ecosystem that will allow us to contain and control malicious actions. The other piece is one of the big differences between agents and other systems is they will have dynamic and flexible authorizations because much of their actions at some point will become more and more autonomous. And so if an agent is meant to be able to have a permission, will likely be context dependent. And that's something that we don't have in a lot of our systems now, and we need to think about how to do that. And specifically around the goals and understanding, is this goal aligned to what the user had? And not just, it's doing what I said I was going to do, and on the side I'm also doing something malicious. We want to ensure that both are not happening. And to do that, we need to have better activity traces of the agents and the actions they're taking. So be able to find what is the identity of a specific agent, which one has it taken, and provide attestation to which actions are taken by which agents. And then ensure that those are aligning with the user goals. And then for purpose-built malicious agents, we want to be able to detect, A, is an agent actually malicious? We want to be able to then defend at scale. And the things that I feel like we wanted to emphasize was that things that we thought of as expensive previously are now going to be cheap because they can be scaled quickly. And we want to understand that things that we thought of as likely attack paths are going to change rapidly, and we need to be prepared for those changes so that we can have a robust and secure ecosystem. And the other piece I wanted to call out was earlier this week, last week, was the first publicly reported example of malware that was dynamically calling an LLM. And so these systems are already starting to become in the real world, and we need to ensure that our defenses will match against these capabilities. So in terms of actions for advancement, the number one message I have is that agent security needs you because there's going to be a lot of big challenges. Through the workshop, these were the top few items that we called out as urgent needs for action. And the number one was having a common platform for agent security evaluation. It sounds very boring, but what we need is realistic cybersecurity environments that have the detail and resolution in those environments where an agent can operate offensively and defensively, and we can evaluate all of these questions we have about robustness. And the second is being able to identify the specific agent standards and pair them with the activity traces. We want to understand what is this layer-wise interaction for AI agents. So right now we have the kind of the model of taxonomy of different protocols in the stack, and we don't really have a great taxonomy of how agents are interacting with subcomponents in the agent. So it's hard to create a unified model of a threat model for AI agents, and we don't have kind of a visualized taxonomy of what those layered interactions are. And we called that out as prerequisite to many other security elements within the model. The other piece is having security-first communication protocols. Since we held this workshop, there's been a lot more progress towards that, but it's still an open need. And then the other piece is we felt it was really important to understand when agents are potentially colluding and have goal alignment. And there's a lot more in the report. It's hard to put it down into one quick slide. In terms of what you can do now, this is the QR code to the full report. And the exact questions we use to host the workshop are in the appendix. So anyone can hold a new version of this with their own communities, whether that be an AI community, a safety community, if you're focused on malware, and try and tease out the questions about what is unique about securing AI agents in your domain, and what are the technical blockers that you have in achieving that. And hopefully, my hope is that you will share that broadly so that we can all collectively learn and converge to AI technical solutions faster. And the lower QR link is to the report on the AI-powered malware. I don't know if we have time for questions or after, but I'll be around. Thank you.